Welcome to another segment in our coverage of the life of Buffalo Bill Cody. Bill was busy working on summarizing aspects of his life, so we borrowed his notes to provide you with the following. In his voice. Howdy, I'm Buffalo Bill Cody. Bushwhacker on wagon trains, frontiersman, Pony Express rider, buffalo hunter, Indian fighter, scout, Medal of Honor winner, stage actor, showman, conservationist late in life, less than successful businessman investing in the plains, and America's first international celebrity. Lately, I've been discussing my entry onto and 10 years on stage, performing in traveling troupes called Combination, and focusing on my collaborators. In this segment, I will discuss my recollections of a man who created a seminal event that played a key role in establishing me as Buffalo Bill Cody. I want to start by discussing and summarizing the event itself. A play called Scouts of the Prairies. First, the cast. Hero number 1, yours truly. Hero number 2, Texas Jack, a fellow frontiersman. Indian Princess Dove-Eye. Peerless Morlachi, a popular ballerina. A trapper, Ned Buntline, and Trapper's Ward, the lovely white girl Hazel Eye. 20 Indians who were costumed white actors. I know that in your time, costuming non-Native Americans as Native Americans has become a taboo, but the practice continued well into the 1900s. I'll start with a summary of the play. Scouts of the Prairies is about a trapper and his ward who are captured by a band of savage Indians, not just once, but twice, and are rescued by the heroes. It's also about an Indian band in which there is rivalry between the chief and sub-chief, resulting in treachery. And finally, it's about love that develops between the two women and the heroes, and their revenge on the band by the Indian princess and the heroes. But, as I will explain, the reason the play was so successful requires further analysis and interpretation of the script. Now, about the man behind the play, Ned Buntline. Ned was a prolific writer, an anti-immigrant and anti-Catholic activist, a mudraker, a womanizer, scoundrel who shot and killed a man, resulting in his lynching by a mob, saved from death by friends who cut the rope. He led a colorful life. Ned experienced failure, but that didn't daunt him from pushing forward into new endeavors. Boom and bust. In the mid-1800s, he was America's highest paid author. When he died, his widow had to sell his beloved house in the Adirondacks to pay off his debts. He lived from 1822 to 1886. Yet, despite all his faults, he played the critical role in creating me as Buffalo Bill Cody. Now, how we got there. There are at least two versions of how we met. One is sensational, the other totally lacking in any drama. First, in 1871, I was the lead guide of a hunting party arranged by General Sheridan, an officer who I supported as his command scout during the Indian Wars. The hunt hosted a Russian duke, Alexis, and along with it, a coterie of other important people. The hunt garnered huge publicity, and much of it celebrated me. Part of that group was a museum builder by the name of Professor Ward, who wanted to collect buffalo specimens for Ward's natural science establishment. However, Ward arrived after the completion of the hunt and asked me to assist him in his quest. I did, and I made a deep impression with my stories, so he invited me to visit him in Rochester, New York. I did, and at the dinner, I supposedly met Ned. The other version is that I met Ned earlier. Ned had been on the West Coast in 1869 on a temperance store, and on his return journey east, he stopped at Fort McPherson in Nebraska to follow up on an inspiration he had to write about the frontier. He was looking for a hero. He wanted to interview Wild Bill Hickok. Ned caught Wild Bill by surprise during a card game and accosted him. Wild Bill threatened to shoot him if he wasn't out of town within 24 hours. Ned complied. Next, he tried to engage Frank North, the famous leader of the Pawnee Scouts, in an interview, who wasn't interested and who directed him to seek me out. Ned found me sleeping off a hangover under a wagon, and we engaged in a spirited discussion about my exploits, and that discussion continued into a journey across the plains. He not only found my stories interesting, Ned recognized an opportunity in my persona. Next thing I know, Ned publishes a novel titled Buffalo Bill, King of the Border. It was soon thereafter turned into a play. Interest in me continued to grow and caught the attention of James Gordon Bennett, editor of the New York Herald, the interest of the Jerome brothers and other influential people, and the New York Union Club. With Ned's active participation, I went to New York for appearances at the Union Club and to attend a performance of the play clothed in my frontier clothes. During the performance, someone recognized me, and the audience demanded I step on stage. Reluctantly, I went, suffered stage fright, uttered a few words, and left the stage to thunderous applause. Ned recognized the opportunity. He was determined to capitalize upon it by creating his own stage play. He wrote to me incessantly over the next few months until I finally agreed to take him up on an offer to go on stage playing myself. I also convinced my part, Texas Jack, to participate with me. Either we forgot or Ned neglected to tell us to bring along 20 Indians, so we arrived in Chicago without them. In addition, we had not received the script because Ned had not yet written it, even though the first performance was only days away. This is where the story gets interesting.